Hello and welcome to our Spotlight videos where we discuss cutting-edge employment law issues in the news. I'm Tom Spiggle, founder of the Spiggle Law Firm, where we help people who've been fired or afraid that they might be in the Washington, D.C. metro area. Today I want to talk to you about a story in the news, and that is a $26 million verdict against Starbucks. The jury came down with a verdict yesterday. This case arose out of a situation in 2018 in a Philadelphia Starbucks where two black men came into the store, asked to use the bathroom. They were told that it was only for paying customers. The men then sat down and, without ordering anything yet, sat down at a table because they were waiting for one of their colleagues to discuss some business. Someone in the store called the police. The police came and the men were arrested. They were ultimately not charged and later settled with Starbucks. Related to that, a regional store manager named Shannon Phillips, who was white, was later fired by the company. She claims it was because she was white and that the company, having been stung by this incident, which got a lot of press, negative press for the company, that they were looking for scapegoats, and that's why she was terminated. The Starbucks argued that she was terminated because she was ineffectual in leadership positions and was absent when she shouldn't have been. Well, the jury didn't buy that and returned a verdict of $26 million. So a couple of key points here. One is to remember that, so this was brought under two different laws. This was brought in federal court in New Jersey. It was brought under the big federal anti-discrimination law, Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and also under New Jersey's anti-discrimination law, a state law. And the jury awarded $12 million in punitive damages, $300,000 in compensatory damages, split between both claims. So, a couple of things here. One is to remember that Title VII, and in here the New Jersey state anti-discrimination law, applies to any race. So it prevents discrimination on the basis of race, whether you're black, white, brown, yellow, you name it. So they sometimes call it, these cases are called reverse discrimination, but technically it's just straight discrimination under Title VII. Applies to any decision any improper decision based on race. The other key point is that, as a matter of strategy, when these cases are being filed, you can file, it depends on the state that you're in. You can file it under the federal law, which of course applies to all states, or you can file under state law simultaneously. And the reason for that, and the reason why an attorney might do that, is that sometimes the state laws are better than the federal laws. Better in the sense that they don't have something called caps. The federal law, there are caps on the amount of award that you can get. You can get unlimited back pay. You can get front pay, but compensatory damages, which is essentially emotional distress and related damages, is limited under federal law to $300,000. Under some state laws, there is no such cap, and which is the case in New Jersey. The same, for example, in the District of Columbia. So the question is, how much money will this plaintiff, Shannon Phillips, actually see? Well, she's going to see a lot, but she's unlikely to see the full $26 million. You're likely to see the defendant file a motion to ask the court to reduce that amount, which happens not infrequently. There's a Supreme Court case that says that there are limits on the amount of, in this case, punitive damages. And here we got multi-million-dollar punitive damage award. The court has said there are limits to that. Generally, it's they didn't lay down a hard rule, but suggested like 10 to 1. So, for compensatory damages here were $600,000. 10 times that would be $6 million. So we're likely to see a reduction on that basis. And of course, the judge can often on their own reduce an award because they find it excessive. So we can see some motion practice on that. So these laws apply to any race. It's not exclusively to people who are non-white, although that's most of the cases. It applies to white people as well. You should consider state and federal law claims when you're filing these cases. And finally, there are, even when we got these big awards, you will often see caps come into play, and you'll see motions by the defendant for the court to reduce those awards, and these are often successful. So still a big win for Ms. Phillips and her attorneys, but we're likely to see that award whittled down by motions practice following this verdict.